This is my July wrap up for the year 2020. I finished reading All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson, and I loved it a lot, like festively. I loved it so much. I had so much to just tab up in here and quote and just feel feelings about, like all of this going off in this book for me. Like it was so good. Part of it kind of started like the movement, I guess, in my spirit to just be introspective, very introspective. Like close to finishing reading this book, I started catching up on this podcast called The Self-Care Kickback. They talked about a lot of stuff that I got really introspective about, getting in touch with who I am as a person and being more grounded, more sure of myself. Because for a while, I've had a lot of questions about who I am, I guess, or I know I'm like, I shouldn't be doubting myself, but why am I doubting myself? Like, why am I doubting my decisions? Like, what is making me feel like I don't make good decisions? I feel like I have, like, why can't I trust that if I come up with an idea, this is how I want to execute, and this is what I want to do for myself? Why am I doubting whether that's right for me or not? And taking cues and keys from other people and them telling me like, no, you should do it this way, and believing them more than I believe myself. Like, I know better for me. And sometimes I have to make the mistakes for myself and when I make mistakes on other people's advice, I kind of end up resenting them and also resenting myself. So it's just like we're just building up a whole lot of negativity around us, a lot of mental negativity. So that's something that I'm like getting really introspective on. And this book kind of helped in that introspection. I think a lot of what was in this book really triggered a lot of memories and thoughts and just feelings and things that I always felt, and it just confirmed and validated so much of how I grew up in my life. Like, and that was one of the things in reading this book that I felt was that it's so interesting because I think George and I are like about the same age. I think we're probably around the same age. And the interesting thing is that we had such similar experiences of how people treated us or how we felt about ourselves and how we thought about ourselves and imagined ourselves. It just felt so validating to read this, and which is interesting because it's like a book for teens, for young adults, and I'm like a whole ass adult, I guess. And it's like this book is like tapping into so much. Like it's something that I needed. It's like these words are what I needed to say, hey, nothing wrong with you. You not wrong. You not like, there's like, because I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, although I'm like on these like doing videos and I'm just me, you know, or out here being ridiculous or whatever. Like, there's still a balance of like, I'm not always confident or as comfortable. It's not even so much, I think I'm probably more, sometimes I'm just even more at home and more just myself on camera than I am when I'm living in the world, because it's just so, I don't know, it's just the world outside, you still have to contend with that. And it's like, how do you deal with being your authentic self in the real world when sometimes you just being you can incite other people to be upset about who you are and like attack you for it. They can attack you for being yourself. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that, because seriously, if I say that, that's some wild shit to say. That's some shit I'm gonna say amongst black people, because at the end of the day, white people don't need to know that. Because that shit bothers me. But the shit about it is like, you trying to live your authentic life, but then you go out into the world and there are people who should have your back and who should be on your side. Like other people in the LGBTQ community don't always have your back. They don't always have your side. I'm grateful for this book for starting some introspection in me. I'm grateful for the Self-Care Kickback for helping roll that introspection on even more. This book had a major impact on my July reading, on my July month, and honestly, that's all. Like, I'm enjoying How Long Till Black Future Month. It's got some really great stories, some really great moments. I feel like this is a book where I'll really need to reread it to really get more out of it, because honestly, I think because of all my introspection, I am just like... But I am enjoying Wildcard. I'm loving being in this world. I'm loving How Long Till Black Future Month. But definitely, my introspection is like deeply, highly on my brain right now. Like, it's just all the way up here Like, it's just right up here. This is all I'm thinking about the most. It's gonna be work. I'm gonna have to pull one of my multiples of journals that are just sitting here. Just like, collecting, I don't know, just being pressed down upon each other. I could say they're collecting this, but not really. So I need to pull one out, commit to one, and say, this is what we're gonna work on. I will definitely try to read more nonfiction books that are going to be tapping into this introspection that I'm going through. I don't know, I'll probably be reading a lot of books in August, but we gonna see, girl. Let's see. If anything resonates in this video with you, I would love to discuss it in the comments, because I would love to discuss my introspection and experiences with anybody else who feels similarly, who's felt like, oh my gosh, I'm going through my own little fucking quarter-life crisis or midlife crisis or 5/8 crisis or whatever. I don't know. But at the end of the day, if you feel like you resonated with anything where you're going through your own, dealing with your negative self-talk, just having a better outlook on your own life and just being more, I don't know, just embracing life, happy, embracing yourself, loving yourself and happy with yourself. Definitely comment anything that resonates, any of that resonates with you. Just talk about it. Put it out there. Maybe somebody else gonna read the comments and they gonna really be feeling what you saying, and y'all gonna link up and connect and talk or whatever, or you can help somebody else by sharing your own feelings, messages, whatever, anything that resonates with you. Definitely leave it in the comments. Thank you for spending your time with me, and I'm out this bitch like Fleek. The fuck. For real.